What's up, y'all? Y'all know what the title of this video is. It's basically just showcasing a few of my tips and tricks to becoming successful on YouTube and just some advice for those of you guys who are wanting to start out a YouTube channel. And so just wanted to put that out there. Sorry the video's so long. Wanted to make sure that I kept it funky with y'all as always. So if you guys want me to do a part 2, make sure to leave your questions and comments down below and I will definitely do that. Enjoy.
What's up, y'all? Your girl Sande, and I'm back with another video, and you can tell by the title. We're going to talk about something a little different today as promised. I told you guys in my Ask Sande video, and if you guys haven't checked out my last Ask Sande video, I will go ahead and link that down below or use an annotation somewhere over here so you all can check it out. I answered a lot of your guys' questions about a lot of different topics. We were talking about babies and sex and relationships and all kinds of goodness. So definitely make sure to check that out because I answered a lot of the questions you guys sent to me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, on YouTube, in my inbox or whatever. But one of the questions I get a whole hell of a lot is specifically in relation to YouTube and I guess being successful on YouTube or starting the YouTube process of being a blogger slash vlogger or whatever you want to call it, video editor, YT or YouTube or whatever the case. And I thought I would make a separate video kind of just talking about that stuff. I actually put up a question on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter. And so we're going to also be responding to questions you guys asked me. And I just put it up like 2 seconds ago. So I'm going to have to keep refreshing my Instagram and Twitter and that kind of thing to kind of answer the questions you guys have sent my way. But there's some things I can tell you off the top of my head. So I'm just going to freestyle this shit as I normally do. And if there's anything that I didn't go over or go into as much detail into as you'd like, I hope that made sense. Leave that comment down below. Or if there's any additional questions you guys want me to answer in a separate video, let me know down below or I'll maybe put it in the next Ask Sande video because that's coming out here shortly as well. Y'all already know I'm not no professional YouTuber. When I say that, I mean I do what I do and I hope that you enjoy it and I'm so happy that you do if you do, okay? However, these are just things that I just have found in my experience. Please don't think that I'm some extra professional and that everything that I say is absolute positive, like if you do what Sande says, this is what's gonna work for me, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just kind of giving you guys my viewpoints and opinions based on the experience that I've had so far. I also want to kind of just, if I can banish a few, I guess falsehoods that I keep seeing on YouTube and a lot of the questions that people ask me. So I definitely want to make sure that I do that. I'm hoping this video is not too long, but y'all already know I keep it funky with y'all. So we're just going to go off the dome, straight off the dome, and we're about to get into it. All right, sound. First and foremost, I got notes and I've got my computer, which might die on me, and my phone here. So if you see me looking down, that's what that is. Okay, first and foremost, the first most prominent question that I get asked a lot is, and I've been getting that a lot as of late on these other social networks as well, is when you get started with YouTube, if you're trying to get started as a YouTuber and you want to start doing videos and that kind of thing, what type of equipment do you need? What type of cameras do you need to use? Lighting and that kind of thing, your setup and that kind of thing, okay? So alright, let me go and give you my viewpoint and opinion, show you guys what I used when I first got started. You guys know I've been on YouTube, if you guys have been following me for a while, but on YouTube for a little bit over 2 years, okay? And when I first got started with the YouTube process, number one, I didn't know anything about YouTube. When I started, it was simply because of the fact that, you know, I have always been a videographer, always been the photographer of my family, my friends, my relatives, whatever, and I would always share my videos out there for people to see, and so I wanted to put everything in a centralized location so that if people wanted to see what was going on, they could check it out there, right? And also wanted to start talking about things that I truly enjoyed, because when I was out and about doing my thug thizzle, people would ask me a lot about my clothing, my hair, my makeup, and that kind of thing, and that's what I love talking about. So I wanted it to kind of be in one little place that I could kind of talk about whatever the hell I wanted to talk about, and that's kind of how that got started. So that's my little YouTube beginning story. Now, when I got started, I didn't know, y'all, you know, nothing about no extra expensive cameras and the high-end stuff. I didn't know anything about lighting or any of that. I didn't even have a place to set up shop where I would have a tendency to do my videos. I just picked a spot, and honest to God, y'all, I'm sitting here on the floor. I'm just giving you a heads up of the floor of my bedroom in front of a closet that's opened, okay? So on some real shit, like I'm not in front of some majorly set up thing. People sometimes think that this is inside of a closet. I'm sitting literally in front of my closet. closet. This has been the setup that I've always had since the beginning of my YouTube channel journey. So if you guys go back to old videos, you'll see I have this exact same setup, probably a couple different clothes back here. I change them up every now and again just because if I get something that's new or whatever, I'll switch it out or whatever the case. But for the most part, this has been it since the beginning of time. So none of that has changed, and it's cheap, and I didn't have to do anything to do it. I just open up my closet door and I pop down on this flow and I get to videotaping, okay? As far as equipment, when I first got started, I'm going to actually show you guys the camera I started with. I still use this camera to this day, so that's why I'm showing it to you right now, because literally what I'm trying to tell y'all is y'all don't have to break the bank and do all the most to try to get started on your YouTube journey. I know there are people that have done that, and I'm not saying that everybody has. Some people have, you know, some people have a better budget or bigger budget they can work with, where they can afford to get the 52 eyes and the 42 eyes and the T3s and the 4s and shit. Not everyone can afford to do that. I didn't even know what the hell that was, and I didn't even really know what it was until probably a year and a half after I started doing YouTube. So a lot of that was just a learning process for me. So this is the camera that I used. Bam. Okay. Still use this camera to this day. Okay. This is my Sony CyberShot. I can't talk today. Sony CyberShot. It's 14.1 megapixels. And y'all, I had already had this camera in my possession when I started my YouTube channel. So I didn't go out and buy nothing for my YouTube channel. Okay. So I'm just giving you a heads up. This is the camera right here. Bam. Okay. And I still use this camera. It's got a photo feature and it's got a photo feature and it's got a video feature. Okay, so basically I just kind of pop this little switch that's right over here. I move it down if I want to shoot video, and that's literally all I did. I have never, sitting here as you guys can see, never used a tripod. I had never purchased a tripod until probably almost 2 years into my YouTube journey. Okay, so everything that you've seen anytime that I've shot right here has been propped up on top of a stool. Okay, so I'm just giving you, and it's still propped up on a stool as we speak. Literally, I'm not using a tripod sitting here on my floor. I happen to have a stool, okay, and it's a stool that we always have in our office. I use the stool every time I shoot in front of here. I don't feel like setting up a tripod. So all that being said, I'm telling y'all, number one, don't you ever in your life think that when you start doing YouTube, you should go out and go buy a brand new camera. Now, if you don't have a camera or you don't own a camera, that's a different situation. But believe me when I say, if you have an iPhone, you can use this as a vlogging camera if you're trying to vlog or whatever the case. There's iPads, so if you happen to have one of those, you can use your iPad to go ahead and shoot as well. And like I said, I had this in my possession, that's why I started using it. But a lot of the digital cameras or the digital cameras or whatever now have a video feature on it. Now, it wasn't as high quality as what you're looking at right now, and I got another camera as time went on, closer to my, I want to say probably a year and a half into my YouTube journey or whatever, and I'll explain that here in a little bit. That being said, for real, don't think you have to go out of your way. If you don't have a camera, flip cameras are very good cameras. They're easy, very portable, small, inexpensive. There's always sales on these types of cameras as well. You can get a camera that has a still shot feature in it as well. So honest to God, for real, on some real stuff, y'all, do not go and go buy T3 eyes and shit just to start your YouTube channel. It's a waste of money, especially if you're not doing anything to create money on YouTube, unless you ballin' like that and you can do it. If you got the money to put into that. But my thing is, if you're looking at it from the YouTube perspective, my thing is this: let YouTube pay for that camera. You know what I'm saying? Let YouTube, as you grow, if you start to make money on YouTube, or as you start to have partnerships maybe on YouTube or whatever the case, let YouTube pay for that shit. That's just my opinion. Again, this is just from my experience, okay? As far as lighting is concerned, I know a lot of people, a lot of us here on the YT, if you guys have watched other YouTubers showcase their lighting and whatever else they have, you know, their professional lighting or whatever the case, with the boxes and, you know, the things that have little screens on them that gives you all that soft light or whatever, please don't think when you get started on YouTube you got to do that shit. I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of people ask me about the lighting I have right here, and it's very clear. Hopefully everything's focused. I know my lens is a little dirty, but As you guys can see, it's very bright light. I mean, it is not the professional lighting that a lot of YouTubers use, but I use light bulbs. And when I say light bulbs, regular light bulbs. The only thing that I can truly say is, one, the benefit to that is they're a whole hell of a lot cheaper than getting professional lighting. And, you know, it's convenient. You can move your lamps or whatever, wherever you need them. Now, I know the professional lighting is also very nice, but it's also a little bit more costly. And my thing is, I'm trying to save you a little bit of money. At the beginning of the process, you don't need to do all that. Don't think that that's what's going to get you subscribers. I've seen a lot of YouTubers that start off with all that equipment unless they already had it or they had the budget to do it. But I have seen some YouTubers and talked to YouTubers who have said that when they got started, they went and bought all that stuff thinking that that was going to get them views and get them subscribers. And when I say that that shit does not work, it does not work. Please don't think you have to go and buy a bunch of stuff to make YouTube work for you. So when I say that, the one thing I can suggest when it comes to lighting, definitely look into light bulbs that are bright and that have a white undertone. And I don't know that I've seen anybody talk about that specifically. I have seen people showcase light bulbs that they do use. I don't have my light bulbs with me right now. I don't have any more. I actually have to go buy some more. Otherwise I would show you, but obviously I need them right now to do this video. Avoid yellow undertone lights when it comes to the light bulbs if you're trying to get that nice bright white effect, okay? So as you guys can see, it's bright white. If I were to change my light bulbs to more of a yellow undertone light bulb, and you've probably, a lot of people use yellow undertone light bulbs in their home. I switched my light bulbs out that I use for my lamps for this set, this little area right here, to the white undertone lights because it gives me that bright look. You can see my white is white, my red is red. You know, that nice brightness that you see on my face. It's because I just picked light bulbs. They're like $7 a piece, okay, at Walmart. I don't go anywhere extravagant or spectacular to get my stuff. So I'm just giving you that heads up. That's one of my biggest suggestions, is to go about getting light bulbs that are bright and white, okay? I know a lot of YouTubers that do this specific video talk about this all the time. One in particular is the whole be you, do you thing. And I know I mentioned it in my Ask Sandy video and I was kind of making a mockery of it. The reality is, and it was a joke of course, but the reality is yes, you do, definitely. I highly recommend for you to do you, be you, and be the best you can be. But I also say, when I say this, I'm going to say something that's going to be kind of like, what the hell? Here we go. We're going to say, I would say, be you, but conform. Now, when I say that, I mean, depending on what you're going for, okay? And using the word conform is just for effect, all right? Just rock with me here for a second. When you're on the YT, okay, and depending on what your focus is and what you're trying to do, there are some individuals that are here or wanting to start their YouTube journey because they want the free products and they want the collaborations with other makeup companies, and they want to be considered a YouTube beauty guru or whatever the case. They want to go to the conventions and the, you know what I mean, the conferences and the Generation Next or whatever the hell that thing is going on right now, or the IMATs or whatever the case. And so their intention is to do that. Now, when I say that, when you're going to go about that type of, I guess, plan, when that's what you're wanting to be, you do have to conform a little bit to what people are currently doing, because that's what's going to get people to check out your channel. When I say that, I don't mean conform to what society in general, what everyone is doing, but you do have to do a little bit of conforming, because in order for you to kind of get seen, especially if you're a brand new YouTuber and people really don't know who you are and you haven't done any collabs with anybody and people really don't know what you do on your YouTube channel on a continuous basis, you almost have to start doing things that other people do, i.e. hauls, i.e. beauty makeup reviews, i.e. you know, whatever the case, outfit of the day or outfit of the night, lookbooks or whatever the case. In order for you to kind of get started, if you're going that route, and I only mean if you're going that route, because there's such a huge population of us that do that here on the YouTube, you know, on the YT, I would definitely have to say, yeah, you're going to have to do a little bit of hauling. That doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a bunch of shit, because I'm going to say, on the other side of this, do not feel like you have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff to be able to be a YouTube person. Please don't. That will get you broke, okay? And then you won't have shit to show for it, to be completely real. So when I say that, I mean, When you happen to go to the store to get something that you want to rock to a wedding or a special event, then you turn the camera on and you showcase what you would have gotten no matter whether you would have gone, whether you had a YT channel or not. You don't go shopping to turn on your camera. So when I say that, I mean, don't think when you get started on YouTube, you need to start going and buying everything under the sun just to be able to go,
hi, I got this, and take a look. Yeah, it's, I love it. It's great for my eyes.
No. Do not think that that's what you got to do just to be on the YouTube community or the YouTube world or to be competitive with other YouTubers. At the end of the day, you know, people will pick up and notice you for what you put out and how you put yourself out there. So there will be a little bit conforming if that's what you're going for. Now, if you're a regular vlogger, if you're just talking about reality shows, or you're talking about life stuff, or you're talking about your day-to-day, or, you know, hot topics, or whatever the case, you have a little bit more flexibility with that. When I say that, I mean, you know, you have a little bit, you know, more room to be a little bit more creative in that regard. You don't necessarily have to conform to some of the stuff that people can easily find you with, but it's going to be a little harder to get some of those views because they're not as taggable. Does that make sense? If you guys understand like the whole tags, the hashtags, the things that YouTube allows you to put in your videos to get promoted or to get seen, you'll understand where I'm coming from with this. So if you need me to further explain that a little bit, just let me know. But just realize, one, you don't need to be going out trying to buy everything under the sun. Look, I'm on a budget. Y'all know I done lost my job about, you know, a few months ago. I can't go buying a bunch of stuff just to be able to show it here on YouTube. If you see me do a haul, which is very rare, you don't see me do a lot of hauls, it's stuff that I would have already purchased had it not been for me doing this channel. So I happen to like makeup, I happen to like, you know, clothing and that kind of thing, and so that's what works well for me. However, you're not going to see a haul video from me every damn week because your girl can't afford that shit. I'm just being real. So don't think you got to do all that to be a successful YouTuber, okay? Here's another question I get asked a lot. Is YouTube expensive? It absolutely can be. So when I say that, I mean when you're starting out, if you think for a minute you're going to go and buy yourself a T3i, then get yourself some professional lighting, and then you're going to get yourself a MacBook Pro because that's what everybody on the YT talks about, and then you're going to get you some iMovie, and then you're going to, if you think that that's the best way to, you're going to be, that's just, no. Stay away from that, okay? Also, I know African Export just recently spoke about this in one of her recent videos, how she's just not trying to be the, you know, buying everything under the sun that everybody puts out on the YT or whatever. And because if you keep doing that, if that's what you keep doing, unless that's something that you have a hobby of or you enjoy or whatever the case, and that's what you normally do, to do it for YT will get you broke. So, like I said, just be careful when it comes to that stuff. Do not think you got to do all that expensive shit to be able to get seen on YouTube, because at the end of the day, when you're shooting with your T3i, people don't see you and the T3i together. They're just looking at you. And if your personality and what you do shines through, they're going to see that, okay? The other side of this though, let me go to the other side. The one thing I do not like is when people don't progress. Now, when I say that, I mean, when you start to get to the point where you've got 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 subscribers and you're still vlogging off of your iPhone and it's like, it's all shaky like this when you're vlogging and stuff, unless you're a daily vlogger, okay? But when you up there in the 70s and 80,000, you still doing this and the picture's blurry and your sound is muffled on a regular basis, and this is for your videos that you've been doing the same thing since the beginning, you're gonna have some trouble attracting some newer viewers, because it's kind of like, okay, as you grow, your channel should too. So as your subscriber count grows, you should also have a little bit of progression there as well, whether it's saving a little bit of the money that you make to put aside to start buying a couple things to kind of enhance and improve your videos. I'm not saying, again, to get a T3i. I don't use T3i here on my channel at all, okay? So I'm just giving you that heads up, and I'm not using some expensive ass tripods to do what it is that I do. I'm still using my stool to this day. However, if you look at my old videos from when I first got started and you look at the brightness and the clarity of my videos now, there is progression. Does it mean that I'm done progressing? Absolutely not. In fact, I will be making the move to do the more improved things as time goes. I'm just not in the financial position to do so as of yet, okay? So make sure with progress comes progress and improvement and progression. Don't think because you got a hell of a lot of subscribers, you should just stop putting out quality videos. I've seen that too often, and at the end of the day, that's just whack too. So realize that after you get to a certain point, yeah, you are going to have to start to make some improvements because you want to evolve and show that evolvement as well, okay? Alright, so I'm hoping this video is focusing. Now that we're talking about quality, now I'm all paranoid about what I look like on camera. Alright, we're going to start looking at some of the other questions that I've recently gotten on my Instagram real quick, and I'm trying not to make this video super duper duper long, but again, y'all know I like to just, I'm detailed. I'm going to let you know what's good. If there's anything in more that you want in more detail, leave those comments down below. I just feel like I think people kind of avoid some of these topics when they're doing these videos specifically on how to be successful on YouTube or tips and suggestions for people who are starting out. So as far as editing is concerned, I have gotten like at least 4 questions about editing. So editing videos, okay? The one thing that I now have a MacBook Pro, okay? Again, something I didn't purchase until probably a year and a half or almost 2 years into my YouTube journey, okay? But what I can say is when I first got started, I had the camera that I showed you, and then I also had just a regular HP or something like that laptop, okay? And it was my regular laptop. I didn't go buy one specific for YouTube. It was what I had. And the software that I used to actually edit my videos when I first got started and for a very long time before I actually got my MacBook was it is Windows Movie Maker, which is a free software that's downloadable from the internet. So please don't think you got to go buy yourself a MacBook. Don't think you got to do that. And if you do get to that point, you'll know when it's time to start kind of making those improvements on your channel to get the MacBooks and the iMovie software that a lot of us use here on the YT to get their stuff actually edited, okay? What I currently use to edit my videos is iMovie, and that is only usable pretty much on my MacBook Pro. So I did eventually get a MacBook Pro, but again, it was something that I had saved for, paid cash for, and you know, I wanted to make sure it was something that I had and I could keep, and it wasn't something that I was spending a ton of money on, because literally my MacBook Pro is primarily used to, of course, surf the net, but primarily for me to edit my videos and that kind of thing. I did want to improve the content of my videos, okay? So what I was using for a very long time, Windows Movie Maker, highly recommend it. It's super duper easy to use, and I also had my HP or whatever it was laptop. What made me get the MacBook Pro also is my laptop was jacked up as hell. I'd had it for a long time, and so it was getting to the point where I couldn't even edit anything, and that's what made me go on to the MacBook Pro, because I had to get a laptop because I wouldn't be able to edit anything. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's kind of what I use. I know some people asked what editing software I used, and currently use now. So iMovie is great. I taught myself how to edit. Still, there's a lot of things I don't know how to do on there, but I'm learning as time goes. Same with Windows Movie Maker. So super duper easy, and there's so many other editing software programs that are out there that are downloadable from the internet if you don't have a MacBook that you can use to actually edit your videos. Plus, I think iPad has editing software, and I think the iPhone does as well. So if you own either one of those things, you can also upload videos from there. So just some suggestions that are free 9.99. Okay. This is going to be my final and last question to answer, and it's a question I get asked all the time, and it's a question that was on every single one of my social networks when I put that I was going to be doing this video and send me your questions, and this was asked probably several different times. Now, a lot of YouTubers that do videos that are related to this particular topic in general, when they get this question in particular, they look just as perplexed as I do, because it's a very difficult question to answer, and it's a question that doesn't have a for real formula answer or anything that I could possibly give you. I can only give you suggestions and tips just based on my experience, just like they are doing the same thing when they answer their question, which is the same one I'm going to give you now. And that question is how to get subscribers, how to increase your subscribers, how to attract subscribers. There is no formula to this. None. I can't sit here, and none of us can sit here and be like, you know what, this is how you're going to get subscribers. So basically what you do is, there's no formula for that. There are people that became accidental YouTubers just putting out one video and it became viral, and then they all of a sudden had a ton of subscribers, and then they started making YouTube videos. There are people that were just doing YouTube for shits and giggles, and didn't intend for it to become a job, and put out a video or put out several videos and people caught on, or people gave them shout outs or whatever the case, and they got subscribers. And I mean, there's people that they just have a certain look, and I'm just being real about this. I'm just keeping it funky. And y'all, if you read my shit right now, there are people that have a certain look, and because they have that look, they have tons of subscribers, okay? And it's no shade. It's what sells. It's what people are attracted to, and it's what people like. So that being said, okay, there is no formula. The biggest thing and the biggest key that I have seen and that I can say works very well is consistency. Stay as consistent as you can. If you want to be successful on YouTube, or you want to see an increase in your subscriber counts or your viewership or whatever the case, staying consistent is really truly going to be what gets you there, because nobody wants to subscribe to a channel where you are saying you're going to be here for the long haul, and you put out videos, and then all of a sudden you fall off the face of the earth for 6 months to a year, and people don't hear anything from you. Tell me I'm back, and then you do the same thing all over again. That's not going to keep people there. And it's no shade to anybody who does that or who has done that, because of course people have life situations that come up, and things that come up in their lives, maybe professionally in their career or whatever the case, or they truly do YouTube as a hobby. But subscribers want to see that somebody is consistently putting out videos and consistently keeping up with content, and that's what's going to keep your viewership high, and that's what's going to keep subscribers coming back and checking back for your videos and recommending to other people that they check out your videos, and then from there gaining subscribers. So a huge part of that is staying consistent with your videos. I can truly say, just as I said earlier today as well, that when you are doing your thug thizzle and you start to see that you're doing very well on YouTube, I mean, when you up there in those numbers, you know, your channel needs to improve too. Progression and improvement also helps to attract additional subscribers, because people like to see that progression. You know what I mean? People want to see the start to the finish, or to the start to the, you know, the midway point, or whatever the case. A lot of us, if you look at our old videos, you can tell that as time has gone on and as we've gotten more popular or whatever the case, we've made improvements to our channel or to our software, to our videos, or to our lighting, or to our setup, or whatever the case. So definitely continuously work on your product, but the biggest thing I can say is stay as consistent as possible. Don't think putting out one video is going to get you a shit ton of subscribers, because that's just not the case. At the end of the day, you're going to have to put out some serious videos. And when I say consistency, I don't mean you put out a video once a month. Now, if that's the schedule that you on, that's great. But remember, that's going to be the schedule the subscribers are on too, because they're going to be like, well, shit, they don't ever upload. So I may or may not subscribe, or I may just not subscribe and just check in with that person, you know, and see if they upload a video every now and again. So just realize, you know, the hard work is going to make a huge difference. Huge difference. And the one thing that I can truly say that when it comes to this YouTube process that you may not be the biggest fan of is going to be for sure editing. So realize that when I say being consistent, it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of networking with your social networks and social media outlets to keep people abreast of what's going on with what it is that you're doing. And it's also going to have a lot to do with putting in the time and the hours and the manpower to getting your videos uploaded and edited. Because that process, I can tell you right now, is probably the worst process of YouTube. The editing, because the importing of the videos into the software or into your computer, then you got to import the stuff into the software that you use, and then you got to edit the stuff, and depending on how complex the video is, you got to edit, and you want it to look nice or whatever the case, so that takes time. Then you have to export that thing, which that takes forever, and then upload it to YouTube, depending on how fast or slow your internet is working. So it is a lot, and then respond back to comments or whatever the case. So just realize there's a lot of work involved, and it's not something that happens overnight for everybody. But know that as time goes on and as you put that energy and effort out there, you will see some positive outcome. Okay? So that's going to be the way that I answer that question, because seriously, ain't no formula for that shit. Real talk, okay? So anyway, those are the questions that I've recently received that I get the most about. And the reason why I want to do this video is because I get these questions a lot, one, and two, I see so many YouTubers doing things kind of a little bit backwards, and at the end of the day, it's kind of like, don't do all that. Don't think you got to spend a ton of money to be successful and to do you on YouTube. It's not even about that. At the end of the day, you know, consistency, effort, hard work, and, you know, just being the best you can possibly be is going to be what gets you that success, regardless of what kind of success you're trying to attain on YouTube, okay? So whether it's you're trying to be a beauty guru or whatever the case, or you're just trying to be a daily vlogger, or you're just trying to talk about whatever you want to talk about, know that at the end of the day, hard work and persistence is going to be what pays off, okay? So anyway, if you like the video, of course, thumbs up the video. Let me know you like this video. And if you guys want me to elaborate more on any particular topics, leave those comments and questions down below. Feel free to share this video with anyone who needs a little bit of inspiration. And yeah, that's about it. As always, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/SocialiteSandy. Of course, hit me up on my Facebook fan page and my Pinterest page. Those links are down below. And of course, follow me on my blog, TheSocialiteLife.blogspot.com, and on Kik and on Instagram at SocialiteSandy. And you already know I absolutely adore y'all, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Bye. You see how pretty that purple is? Ha! You put this on your lips! Poppin', you hear me?